What is going on, guys? It is Matt with Sixers Sync back again for Game 5. Let's break down the tape. Let's talk a little bit about what went right, what went wrong for the Sixers in what was a big win in Boston to force a Game 6. To start the game, I thought that the Sixers went a little bit heavy on the three ball. They kind of felt like I was watching the Celtics play, honestly, but you'll see what I mean here, in that this offense looked a lot better with Joel Embiid. This was kind of what you expected from this series. Two teams just going to work. A little bit of a push-off there from Jaylen Brown. But look again, the Sixers offense, motion. Motion was the key. Game 5, they played a lot of isolation ball. They were also down for a lot of that game, so it made it a little bit more difficult. But I thought that they had done a lot better when it came to offensive game plan here, right? So there's a screen, Maxey down the lane, cuts it to Joel. That is probably what the Sixers should do as many times as they possibly can throughout these games, right? Take a look at the setup here. VJ and Oubre in the corners. I like that. I feel like when they're both hot enough from three-point land to justify being there. George sets the screen, and Embiid's there for the pass. Maybe they're a little tight at the top, but it's like a stack play. Maxey goes the other way from the screen. George is going to stay there, and Embiid is going to follow. And this is what Embiid and Maxey have done throughout their time playing together, right? So Embiid follows. Maxey's always had that good pass, and then this is just Joel Embiid being Joel Embiid here. Easy bucket. Easy bucket for him, and that's what I think he understood, was that these Celtics centers, they're okay. Like, they're not bad. They're not bad players, but they just can't really hold him. And this was a weird play, too. I did not understand this at all from Keita. I didn't know that this is legal. So he misses the dunk, and he, like, grabs the ball. Let's see if I can get this on point here. He grabs the ball, and I thought that his hand was still on the rim here. But according to the rules, you're allowed to grab the ball while on the rim if the ball's below the rim. It just can't be above or at rim level or over the rim. So apparently that was legal. I've never seen anything like that in my life before. It kind of reminds me of like a street ball play there, if you will. And this play here is a little bit of that bad defense that we saw, right? It starts out fine. Grimes is following. Oubre just overplays. And I really feel like with Peyton Pritchard, you don't need to overplay. I understand he's a great shooter. Overplay him on the three-pointer. Because, I mean, this guy 55, I don't know if his name's Shireman. I don't know how to pronounce his name. But that's an open look. Like, guys in the NBA make open threes. The Sixers might not, but the Celtics do. I would always take a layup over an open Celtics 3, 10 times out of 10 times. Look at this. Luka Garza, you just can't guard that. We saw retro prime Embiid today. Or not today, excuse me, tonight. But look at this. This is good offense. This is what we hadn't seen from Nick Nurse, really without Embiid. But even last game, with Embiid, they were kind of ignoring this, right? So you set up well. You have, again, Grimes, Barlow in the corner. This time you have two guys at the top of the key, and Embiid's just going to go right to the elbow. Gets a little bump there, but they let it go. And watch this. You just let him go to work. Here comes the double. Embiid is probably going to take this shot 9 times out of 10. But even if he doesn't, right? Even if Embiid doesn't take this shot, you're going to have one of Maxey or Edgecombe open at the top for a 3 here. This is just your superstar getting a bucket, but that is good offense. That's what we had not seen. Look at this. This is good defense. You live with that, right? Because there's no aggressive overplaying. And here's that offensive scheme, right? Embiid draws 2. They just come away with a bad pass. That's going to happen. Again, this is good defense. It's just a better shot by Derek White, but look at the defense. Pritchard has it. They're playing man, and they're playing pretty aggressive man defense, especially Edgecombe on Tatum, which is an interesting matchup, but they want to force this pass, and Barlow's a lengthy defender, right? So here's Pritchard. He's going to drive, and Embiid comes to help. He knows that he's going right to Vucevic, and Vucevic can shoot the three. So what does Embiid do? You can already see him change direction there. He's going to get a good contest on this, but he runs out, sees he's not shooting, he follows. He knows that they're going to come in for some kind of screen. So what happens? Grimes is going to go with White, which is fine. Again, the Celtics get a bucket on this play, but this is a good defensive scheme because Grimes follows. He doesn't even hit the screen, and Embiid stays. So although they get a bucket, they get a layup, and the Sixers are down at this point. What that's doing is taking away the three, and that's crucial to beating the Celtics. This is a disgusting move by Paul George, by the way. Quentin Grimes with the and one. He'll make a couple big shots down the stretch when we get there. But like I said last game, I said I liked Quentin Grimes' minutes. I wanted him to get more. Look, here he goes again. Easy layup in transition. Quentin Grimes has started showing up. Last game he did show up. This game he came through. And you'll see what I mean when we get there. And if you watch it, you already know what I mean. But the Sixers look like the team that can beat the Celtics, right? Let's get another look at the Sixers offense here. Look how they're setting up. You got three guys on the baseline. Edgecombe is going to come through and up. Either him or Oubre is going to come up. You have Embiid and Maxey just playing a two-man game here, right? Tatum isn't the ideal defender in this scenario. Embiid's going to feed it to Maxey. He's just going to pull. It's great execution. Maxey is most effective when he does not think about his shots. He just takes them. And he didn't have a great split from three, but he had a great night overall, scoring-wise. He was effective when the Sixers needed him. So at this point in the game, they're down 11. And Kelly Oubre showed up for this game. He made no field goals in game 4. Luckily, he got to work this game. And look at how this play develops, right? This is the effort that we haven't been seeing from the Sixers. Paul George goes downhill. What does Embiid do that he normally does not do? Look at him. He's crashing, right? If this ball is off, it's Embiid, Tatum, Oubre there for the rebound because a couple guys are out of play. Luckily, the shot falls, but this is that effort, right? You have the Celtics crashing, Embiid crashes, everybody's crashing. You have two shooters open. That's how you win basketball games. The Celtics have dominated on offensive boards. If the Sixers can just cut the deficit, I'm not saying outboard them. This is a ridiculous miss by Embiid, by the way. If the Sixers can at least cut into the offensive rebound deficit, you will see a completely different series in Game 6 and potentially 7. And here again, good offensive setup. Clear space for Embiid. If they're going to send a double, someone's going to be open, right? So the Celtics are a smart team. They're saying, make him beat us. Unfortunately, this night that was not a good game plan. And this is a great defensive possession. Embiid just sticks. George cuts through, swings out. That is beautiful. That is what the Sixers have not done. Start again. Tatum forced into a tough look. He's going to try and feed it out. Maxey has coverage underneath. Comes away with the steal. What does he do instead of running the entire floor? Find the outlet pass. George, you know he wants to take this shot. He says, no. I know Sam Hauser is cutting through. He's trying to guard Kelly Oubre or me. He has Maxey behind him. Obviously, that's a tough look. So he says, I'm going to give it to the young gun. Edgecombe doesn't hesitate. Even though he's been shooting rough, he does not hesitate. And that's a great position by Embiid there. Just get inside. Good pass by George. Look at the hustle. Just a tough play. Falls into the hands of Jason Tatum. Nothing really much you can do about that. He's been spot on from three-point land. And again, what did I say earlier? When Tyrese Maxey does not think about the shot, he's a much, much improved scorer. He really is incredible. This is a tough pass. And I don't know about this defense here. Let's see how the play develops again. Kind of weird because Brown goes in. This is a mistake from last game, right? Because you have 3 Sixers overplaying. Maxey and Edgecombe again. Backs turn to their defenders, and Embiid is going to try and play for the block. Brown's too smart. He bumps him. He jumps. This is the play where I believe Embiid came out, went to the locker room. Yeah, you see he's gonna hold his left knee here, which was concerning at the moment. And while watching, it was terrible. Brown's smart, finds the feed. Here's what I don't like. Maxey and George both kind of take that first step towards him. You have 2 Celtics at least open, but this is a great pass by Vucevic here because he sees that Edgecombe overplays and they get a 3 out of it. And like I said, that's the point where Embiid came out of the game for a couple minutes. And for a second, I'm going to be honest with you. Even though it was like a 6-8 point game, this really could have been the turning point where the Sixers ended up going home. You see 2 quick steals. Brown finds Tatum. I thought it was going to be a foul, but either way, the Celtics went up. They went on a run. Embiid was out, and I kind of, for a second, thought it was the end. Drummond drops a 3 in, keeps us in the game. And luckily, in a couple possessions here, Embiid did come back in. But this is where it got scary. Like, as a Sixers fan, it was kind of like, all right, if Embiid does not come back in this game, it's over. That was the kind of game that Embiid was having. But way to make the extra passes, right? I'm personally not used to this as a Sixers fan with this team because you have 3 great isolation scorers. Now, granted, Embiid has played a limited number of games as Paul George. And this is simple basketball. Like, I'm not saying this is anything revolutionary at all. But this is what the Sixers haven't been doing. Paul George usually is going to take that shot. Kelly Oubre gets a good look, but he says, nah, I'm going to give it to Quentin Grimes, who has the hot hand. And the Sixers stay in this game. Embiid comes back in at this point. And this is where the game starts to shift. They've worked on feeding ahead in transition. The Sixers are typically a half-court offense, but they worked a lot in transition. They worked a lot of ball movement, and this is just Quentin Grimes knowing that he's on. So Sixers now are in a 1-point game, and that's the offense that we're used to. Isolation scoring. When these guys are on, you cannot take them out, and I will applaud Nick Nurse for understanding that in this 4th quarter. This lineup stayed on for most of the 4th quarter with Grimes and Edgecombe as well, which I was very happy with. And look at that. That's easy. I was saying that when I was watching that. It's not a difficult shot. It is not a crazy move. That is where Joel Embiid excels, is simple shot making, and Maxey excels driving down. The Sixers are an exponentially better team when they go downhill to the basket. Sixers know if you want to beat Boston, you gotta hang through to the final buzzer. See Keita there, Embiid, good feed, and Grimes just knows. Catch, shoot, catch, shoot. The Sixers know. If you want to beat the Celtics, you cannot hesitate, right? And Embiid gets the ball, he knows, I'm taking this shot. Fades away, in his face. That's too easy for a former MVP. Maxey again, downhill, little jab, push off. Not like a foul push off, but you know what I mean. Separation creation. Again, goes downhill, draws the defender with him. Edgecombe drills a dagger 3. And by that point, this game is over. The Sixers hung in all night. You see Embiid came out with 2 minutes left. They were up like 14 points. And Maxey gets that bucket. And the Sixers force a Game 6 at home. Let me pull up the box score. That way we can take a look at, who played well. So let's look at the box score here. We're going to go through this real quick. Sixers starters, right? 16 points for George. Not the best number. But what I want to emphasize, 4 of 9 from 3. That's important, and that's what the Sixers need. Plus 9 rebounds, 7 assists for Paul George with no free throws, which is interesting that he shot no free throws and Maxey only went to the line once. 3-point shooting was not the Sixers' forte in this game, though, besides Quentin Grimes, who had obviously a great game from behind the arc, going 4 of 7. George going 4 of 9's a big help. Maxey 3 of 10's not great, but he shot efficiently from the field and grabbed 10 rebounds. Joel Embiid with 8 assists as well, and obviously 33 points. He started 1 for 7 from the field. But you see, this was a starter game for the Sixers outside of Quentin Grimes down here, who had a great game, 18 points, 4 threes. He had a 4-point play. He was plus 18 off the bench. And a Dembona with no minutes. He was a DMP, which I'm fine with because Joel Embiid played phenomenally. Let's take a look at the Celtics. Jason Tatum shot 8 of 19. Jaylen Brown shot 9 of 23. That is absolutely great for the Philadelphia 76ers, and that's what you need to win. You need to hold these guys to bad shooting splits. Tatum's assist numbers lower than they have been in the series. He grabbed 16 boards, which is just ridiculous, right? But look at the Celtics as a team shooting 28 from 3. To put it simply, that's how you beat the Celtics. If the Celtics don't make an absorbent number of threes, your percentage, your chance of winning goes up astronomically. And that's what the Sixers really found out tonight. And that's what we knew, but they really found that out for certain tonight. So Game 6 is tomorrow in Philadelphia. I'm going to be there, which is going to be awesome. Hopefully the crowd is in it from the start. I think they'll be a big help for the Sixers, but to put it simply, 3 key things. Joel Embiid must show up. If he does not, the Sixers lose, plain and simple. The Sixers must shoot well from the 3. I'm not saying they must shoot crazy well, but they must shoot well. 36 is fine. I would say 35 is the target. And 3, they must guard the 3 well. The Celtics cannot shoot higher than the Sixers shoot from 3, right? It sounds silly to say it like that, but that's how it works, right? The Celtics shot 28%, Sixers shot 36%. They win. Simple as that. Always allow the Celtics to get a 2 over a 3 because that's how you beat them, plain and simple. Sixers had a great fourth quarter. As you see, they allowed just 11 points. They surged in the second half. They got to win. The season's alive, and guys, I have hope for Game 6. I think we're going to see a determined Sixers team that hopefully comes out with a win. So I will see you guys likely on Friday to break down Game 6. Have a good one, and love basketball.